Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week where we have actually completed the signing of a player. Like I can't believe my eyes. Can't believe the happiness that came through when obviously the 5 o'clock tweet came out for Rangers. I'm sorry in advance to people that follow us on Twitter because I have been tough on on Ross Wilson and the board the past days after obviously kind of not hearing anything, and then Cantwell's now in a Rangers shirt, so I happy to see that. Raskin is the next one on the left hand side of the screen there. You would think that will be out hopefully in the next week as well, and then we'll talk about the game because I completely forgot about the game actually when that news came out. So I Borna Barisic celebrating his stunner there goal there to send us through to the next round of the Scottish Cup as well. So, firstly though, obviously the main part of the episode, Todd Cantwell, finally a Rangers player. What's your thoughts?
Just that it's an exciting signing. As you say, we've been waiting for a number of weeks now to finally have the first one in the door. We were told two or three. Let's hope, obviously, the Belgian boy potentially could be the second one in. But I'm really happy to get it over the line. We all were a bit worried, I would say, that it wasn't going to happen. Obviously, there was links with potential other championship teams, but just to have him up here, to have a fresh face in the door, the real new start in Michael Beale's era at Rangers it's exciting.
No, I think it's when we first talked about it, like it was one that, and I still think it's going to be that way. The fact that he's in the shirt now is even my dad was like that. He was like, "Oh, he was good 2 year ago." There's going to be a lot of pressure on this guy, which again can go either one or two ways. Like the way he was speaking in his interview, I heard a lot of good things. I liked hearing he's devoted to winning, all the kind of things you would love to hear in an interview. He said, but he was also honest as well. He was like, maybe players that come up here won't be honest in their first interview for the club, but he was like, look, I need to believe in a manager and he needs to believe in me. So the fact that they've had ongoing discussions and Beale's kind of sold the club to him is fantastic because you can't forget, sorry, where Cantwell has been over the years. Like Norwich, he had a really breakout season 2019-20. Then had obviously another year in the Premier League after that, and then sort of went out of favour on loan at Bournemouth. They get promoted last season, but it was this season. It was kind of one too many for him at Norwich, and he's looking for a new start as well. And I think it could be perfect for him, especially the way Michael Beale wants to play. Just rotating the forward line, I feel like he could probably drop into midfield as well and be an option. And just one player in, and you're already thinking, look, Kent, Tillman, Sakala, all of these players that can kind of play in that area, and he's going to occupy. So, and Saturday hopefully he'll be in the squad, and you never know, maybe start because another thing I don't like is sign a player and we'll just bring him on every couple of games and then we'll start him. Like there's a away trip to Tynecastle coming up. Could you throw him in there to start? So you sign these players first, I guess. But I'm over the moon with the signing, and I can't wait to see him going now and see what he's about.
It's going to be exciting, mate, and exactly that. I would throw him in at the deep. Somebody's going to learn. Obviously, the game up here completely and utterly different. You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting. But you know what it's like. Maybe they'll just bring him out at half time. It could maybe be one of them, or obviously could be in the squad. I was expecting him to be in the squad, be fit, and maybe come on second half or whatever. You could maybe see Michael Beale doing something like that, obviously. But I would throw him in the deep end. Massive game coming up, as you say, against Hearts away, which is going to be a difficult one. But it's just good to finally know that we've actually signed a player. And apparently it's well, it isn't. It's not official until we've got the scarf around our neck. So
Yeah, so they say. But I think it just ticks so many boxes as well because where we have been in terms of our signing sort of processes over the years is kind of. Like I thought in the summer was quite poor actually. The window. I mean Cholak has scored goals, but signing a forward at 28, I thought was a bit
there was
strange.
no
I
name.
think.
That's what it was. There was no names really. Do you know what I mean? This is a guy, obviously, as we say, a couple of seasons ago, potentially going to 40 million to Liverpool, having a real breakout season as you see in the Premiership. I just think with him, it's going to be maybe mentally, and I think Michael Beale could be the best coach for him. I just think he just needs to understand it when he comes up here. I liked what I heard as well, where he said, I've got to earn the shirt, I've got to earn to play for this football club because it's not just going to be given to him just because he played in the Premiership. He's got to earn it. But obviously we know he'll play majority. But I just want to honestly, I want to see this guy flourish up here. I want to see him do really well. And as I say, he's an exciting talent. So I mate, I'm buzzing with it myself. Like it's just I seen what was it, one of the Twitter posts where it was like Ross Wilson forgot the last four digits on the bank card or something. I'm like, can
Honestly,
you
that's what I felt like today. I'm like, right, I'm going to wake up bright early. Oh, Cantwell's going to be announced today. It's going to be brilliant. And then the hours keep ticking by. You keep refreshing Twitter. You see the same stuff, and you're getting that frustrated. I never thought it would actually happen today, but it seems to kick us into gear now for the transfer window. Hopefully the first of a couple of signings. Obviously we'll talk about Nicolas Raskin later on, but I think a really good start to our transfer business, definitely in the incomings anyway. I think he can add a lot to the team. Maybe similar to Kent in a way where he needs to add more goals to his game, and that has been his problem at Norwich over the years as well. But he scored some big goals. Scored goals against Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, to name a few. So he's a man for the big occasion. You just hope he can sort of regain his confidence and be that player again, which is always a risk when signing somebody. But the fact that he's 24 and he's still got years ahead of him, he's still a really young player. He felt he was at Norwich forever. But yeah, this move will probably be better for him, to be honest as well, to sort of get out of that environment.
Yes.
And in his interview, he said, "Look, I've been around my family and friends and local all my life really. So this is totally out of his comfort zone where he's come up here and he's sort of put his football career first. So
Good.
hopefully it works out."
To say, see when you hear stuff like that, he wants to challenge himself mentally. You could tell that he's probably saying to himself, "I'm too comfortable here. I need to be vulnerable." You know what I mean? And up here, he's definitely going to be vulnerable because you're going to get abuse every 5 minutes, son, where you don't do something the right way. Do you know what I mean? So it's interesting to see how it goes, but it's good to sign a player of this caliber. And as I say, he's somebody who's looking for a fresh break, and we're looking for an exciting talent player like that. So it's good to have him on board, man.
Yeah, and I think you probably will see him make his debut against St Johnstone. I would like to think second half he'll probably make his debut. And then it's all steam ahead for there. You never know, might have another one in the door. But Todd Cantwell, very happy with that signing. And then before we go into the other two rumours that have been basically in the pipeline for the past week, St Johnstone and the cup obviously wasn't pretty. It was definitely not pretty, but Borna Barisic provided a great moment. Gets himself his first goal in 2 years for the club. And that was pretty much it for the night, to be honest with you. Like, we had a couple of half chances and whatever, but it was a really poor game of football. It was kind of just maybe down to the pitch, maybe down to the fatigue playing into the players as well. It's a lot of effort put into that last week there, and we came out with 3 victories. So you can't complain in terms of that, but
No,
just you would like to see more in terms of creativity and maybe chance creation, more goals. But I guess we win the game, and that's maybe been overcritical.
no, it's not being overcritical, mate. I think these are games where we do need to obviously maybe score two or three, maybe first half kill the game off. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we get through. And as I say, right now at this moment in time, the cups are massive for Michael Beale in terms of getting his personal first success at the club, which we're all wanting to have. But no, it was important we got the win, and as you say, special moment for Barisic. To think it's 2 years he's gone without a goal. It's a bit crazy for me. I thought
I
he would
think
have.
his last goal was actually in the Europa League.
So let's not talk about the Europa.
Aye.
So, but no,
Aye.
it's important to get through, and obviously we drew Partick Thistle obviously in the next round. So
Aye. Favourable draw again at home, so you would expect us to go and take care of that, and then obviously be in with a chance of going far in the Scottish Cup again, because you want to retain it, of course. And we seem to be doing a lot better in the cups recently. So long may that continue. Just on the actual goal that won the game, Tillman again, the creator of the goal. I mean, somebody like him only anticipates that to backheel it into the path of Sakala. Sakala's really unlucky, actually, not to score himself. But then, I mean, the finish for Barisic is just brilliant. And then, if that was right in front of where I was sitting as well, and just the way he celebrated, that seemed like that really meant a lot to him. And that goal, so just shows you, like, guy that doesn't score in 2 years gets a goal, wins a game, like, can do a lot for his confidence, I think. So I just be celebrations and that. I thought he really enjoyed that one. And then we were second half, just it was poor, but it is what it is. And we move on to the cup, as you say, Partick Thistle in the next round. No injuries, hopefully, and jobs are good. And And then more exciting transfer news that came out, and you were like, surely not. Like, surely we can't actually be going and signing a promising midfielder. But yeah, some reliable sources in Belgium have basically confirmed that Rangers are in advanced talks with this guy. Apparently, he's completed his medical and everything. It's just basically down to if the clubs can agree a fee, if it's going to be now, if it's going to be in the summer for free. Either way, seems to be a magnificent signing anyway. The clubs that have been tracking him, Marseille and another few clubs in France. I've seen Barcelona were always in for him as well. So, I mean, you can't really look at that and think, don't know, but the right clubs were in for him. We were obviously linked with him in the summer transfer window, and that was basically if Glenn Kamara left, we would have brung him in. But the waiting game seems to have kind of paid off because we've still got Glenn Kamara, and it looks like we're going to be getting Nicolas Raskin as well.
Which is an exciting acquisition. As you say, big hitters in Europe. Looking at this boy, don't know much about his game, as I say, but I'm excited. It's one where there is a bit of buzz, and in an area where we do need somebody young, fit to come in, because we can't keep watching the half a dozen pensioners play in the middle of the park. And big slow John as well. I can't go to watch him again. So it's good to have somebody of that quality come in. But we'll see what his game's all about. As you say, you've got to be doing something right if Marseille, whatever you're looking at your Barcelona, you never know. But it's another one of them, mate. Top signing for me.
Nah, I've not seen much actually footage of him, but for what I've seen, just looks to be the perfect midfielder that we've like, craved for years. Like just a Stephen Davis type player, to be honest with you, that can control the game and push forward and basically just be that sort of bulldog, a pit bull in the middle of the park, as I've heard him actually quoted as a player. So for me, that's I'm all on board with that. If he's firing the midfield, it's something we've desperately needed, and we've needed somebody young and talented to be in there for a while. Like it makes sense to bring him in, and Charlie McCann looks to be on his way out. So Charlie McCann's 22 years old, and Nicolas Raskin's 21. So if that's a straight swap, I mean, it's really a no-brainer.
It is, but at the same time, it's frustrating because I think McCann's a quality player. I can respect that he's turned around and he's went, I don't want a new deal. I want to play football. And that's the most important thing. It should be obviously for any player. But disappointed to lose a player like that. And you look at somebody like Lovelace as well. Is he going to get his chance? Do you know what I mean? Like you sign him for Millwall. Is he going to get a chance? And then also you get the other boy as well that's away out on loan, but I can't remember his name. Was it Man United's academy, was he not?
I don't even know what you're talking about, actually.
I
Try to
can't
think
remember.
who's out in loan. I know Cole McKinnon's obviously out in loan. I'm not sure who else is out in loan, to be honest.
Tony, was it Tony something or something? I don't know.
Oh, Tony Weston.
Aye, Tony Weston. You look at somebody like that, do you know what I mean? Guys that are coming up also for the opportunity to play for the club. But you just feel like they get lost in the shop. What's the point in playing somebody, as I say, like, what's the point in playing like obviously Dave get the experience of it, but you want somebody like McCann in the middle of the park. I just think he's a massive loss. There's a lot of potential with Charlie McCann. I think he'll go on to have a fantastic career. Do you know what I mean? I think he's a really top player. You never know, he could come back, but as I say, maybe just doesn't fit any Michael Beale's plans. But I think it's probably a mutual thing where, you know what I mean, the club realises he probably isn't the first team starter, and then obviously he wants to just go and play football, which you can respect. But this guy here, mate, I'm looking forward to seeing what his game's all about, and I look forward to seeing him in the blue jersey, because as well, no, Jack, it's not official until they've got the scarf around their neck.
Nah, and hopefully that is soon. But just to touch on Charlie McCann actually quickly as well, my thoughts on it is I've always liked him as a player. Every time I've saw him, I thought really strong midfielder. Thought he was going to be the successor to Stephen Davis in ways. But the way I look at it after obviously him then looking to leave the club is, I mean, that's Gio, Michael Beale, Gerrard obviously signed him. He's played minimal minutes of football. He's always kind of been included in the squads. Like, what does that really mean for him as a player? Is he maybe not doing enough to impress the managers or what? I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but that can be the only thing I really think of, because every time he's sort of shown a cameo, he's been decent. He has sort of stood out and been good, but again, for maybe his career as well, like, you don't really want to be playing second fiddle, and I totally understand him getting frustrated at the lack of opportunities. Look at the state of midfield over the season, and I mean he still wasn't getting a look in. So 100% agree with him and moving on. we'll get a fee for him as well, which is good. But as you say, a lot of people again looking at the youth academy and thinking like, what's the point if we're not going to really give them the opportunity when I mean the midfield's so threadbare and he still can't get in.
Not even that. You thought just obviously when we sold Patterson, you thought right, cool, maybe this is the what we're going to be doing now, Bread. Maybe one or two of them in and then sell them on. You know that's the straight up plan for somebody like Leon King. By the way, that's the plan with him is to get a couple of seasons out of him maybe and then sell him on to a Premier League team. You know that is, but you just like to see some of them come through and progressing as we're talking about here. Even like McCann, you're telling me you couldn't get a look in this season with how bad our midfield's been at times.
You know, he started one game in that, no, I with one game and it was like Dundee United at home. Like that was under Gio. He's featured once under Michael Beale, and that was only forced as well. Like because Kmart Roof came off in that semi final, that was a forced substitution. So it's a difficult one because although I've liked Charlie McCann every time I've saw him, I can't be too hurt by it because I'm like, look,
Oh,
guy wants to go out and
absolutely.
play football, and I can understand totally him not getting the opportunities. You maybe just question why we don't bleed the youth in
A
further
bit
because I mean you
more.
look at Liverpool the other day. Liverpool are shocking and their midfield's disgusting, and then they're bringing through a youngster, Stefan Bajetic, I think his name was. Started him against Chelsea. Like that's the equivalent of us playing what a big game up here, Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibs, or something like that, and going throwing I don't know Lowry in or something like that. It just wouldn't happen here, and I just don't know. I just don't know why that is because Lowry came on the other day as well and immediately created a chance for Morelos. It'd be a great through ball. So, aye, it's annoying. But then if you're going to go and replace him with Nicolas Raskin, he's younger than him, and aye, this guy's got a lot of quality.
When
And
it can do it, I tell you, you can understand it.
nah, I definitely can understand it. And then the final piece of news, and it's been ongoing. This is going to go to deadline day. I think Morgan Whittaker, just sign him, just pay the money. Just he doesn't want to be at Swansea. Just get him now.
Get him, mate. Get him in the door. Definitely seems to be the message we're putting out there. I just, as I say, obviously I was a bit iffy. I didn't know who he was and all that kind of stuff. But I tell you what, some of the stuff I've seen, I like him a lot. And as I say, I trust Michael Beale and whoever Michael Beale wants to bring in because I know he'll bring the best out of them. Obviously, there was the thing with Swansea where they were on about, oh, he'll be in the squad and all that kind of stuff. And then, as you said, Russell Martin coming out and being like, oh, he's got a lot of stuff on his mind and all this. So
I just feel like
it's an
that's
indication straight away with there that he's said to himself, I'm packing my bags and I'm going up to Glasgow. See you later on.
he's made up his mind. It's basically down to us. Like if they value him a lot more than what Rangers are willing to pay, I mean there's obviously going to be drawbacks. But do you want to have an unhappy player at the club? I don't think you really do. So I think they would probably take 2.5 million. I think we're offering. So I'm fine with that in terms of the fee. I wouldn't really go any higher than that. I don't think, but. I think this one will go right down to the wire, to be honest. I think it could be one of them that's sort of a deadline day signing. But I think a guy we kind of would love to have, to be honest with you. Young, scores goals, creates, fast, has a lot of skill. So, I mean, as you say, Michael Beale's he's got an eye for talent, young talent as well. So, yeah, for me, I'm on board with Morgan Whittaker. I wasn't last week too much, but the more I've
Don't
seen
get me
him and
wrong.
the fact that he's made up his mind that he kind of wants to come here is obviously a big indication as well.
It's the exact same thing with Tom Cadwell. You can tell, man. They know that you can be a part of something special, as I say all the time. Like you will be. Do you know what I mean? If you come up here and you're fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Your game's on point. The fans are going to adore you. Do you know what I mean? Look at Ryan Kent, as I say. But it'll be interesting to see, mate, if we can get him over the line. I'm similar to you. I think it could be deadline or potentially summer
Mm-hmm.
if we get him in the door. But either way, I do think he'll be a Rangers player.
Nah, I think he'll be a Rangers player soon. I mean, we might need to move on to other targets. There's not really been anything else apart from obviously Cantwell now a done deal, and then obviously the two you're kind of waiting on to see what happens. But aye, it's good to just get Todd Cantwell in if we finish on that. Aye, looking forward to seeing him play. Looking forward to seeing what people on Twitter and such are saying about the signing because it is quite a big signing when you think about just for where the guy's been. So happy with the business, and then I've got a full week to sort of prepare to go into St Johnston now. So aye, couldn't be better.
Could not be better than they did. Feeling fresh, as I say, mate. Get a fresh chopper on board with people who are watching. I've noticed. I get a fresh chopper. Stone cold ready for this Saturday. But no, I'm just happy to have him signed. As I say, it's somebody we all kind of knew. It's a done deal, really. I just want to see him show the attitude that he wants to play, show the hunger. You don't want to be that we've signed a player. Don't mean to hang me, but similar to like Dele Alli, do you know what I mean? Just here to get
Yeah,
him in
that's true.
and not contribute. Do you know what I mean? You want to see him turn up, go to the next level that obviously Michael Beale thinks he can get out of him. And we all hope he does. So it'll be interesting to see him. And obviously, we were going to do a sort of hang me episode, but we felt like there was no point because obviously we expected a sign to be made, and then also there's other ones sort of maybe leave that for a later date on potentially who we would have signed maybe this window or what have you,
Mm.
stuff like that. But I'm really happy with that sign, as I say, mate. And hopefully he comes on, he gets minutes. I think it's just going to, like all times, it's going to just give the player time, be patient with him.
Yeah.
Look at somebody like Diablo. If we just giving him time and being patient with him, look at the player that was there. But you know up here, nobody gets a second really.
I know that's true. You need to come up here and make an instant impact. So I hope he gets the chance to make the impact on Saturday, and we see him progress into a Rangers player. But happy with the signing, and hopefully there's more to come next week. That will be window will be closed near enough next week. So by that point, we should hopefully be able to talk about everything that's happened, incomings, outgoings in the window. So look forward to that. As you say, we were going to look at 5 players that we would have signed, but I mean the fact that Michael Beale said he's only going to sign 2 or 3, and the 2 or 3 are kind of all out there. There was not really any need for us to put our input on it. Maybe just players that we thought we could have a look at. We'll look at after the window closes, but it's going to be an interesting week in terms of that and who comes in and out. Expect maybe be a couple outs as well. Actually, obviously McCann and maybe a couple others. So we'll see how it goes. But if you could like, subscribe, share your thoughts about Todd Cantwell in the comments. Is he a player for you? Is he a player that EP English Premier League? I don't care. Is he just all flair? Let us know your thoughts on that, and we'll be back next week with another episode covering the transfer window. So we'll see you then.